AITA for cutting off my fiancée after she took a break for her ex? My name is Jake. I am 32 years old, and until a few weeks ago, I thought my life was pretty much on track. About 4 years ago, I met a girl. Let us call her Brooke. She is 29. We met at a party at a friend's place. She caught my eye immediately. Blonde, athletic, with this confidence that completely charmed me. We started talking and man, the way she laughed at my jokes, how she touched my arm. I knew right away I wanted to see where this would go. It clicked instantly. She is a freelance graphic designer who works for big clients. Our schedules lined up well. We would grab dinner after work. We spent our weekends hiking in the Rockies or trying out new restaurants. There was real chemistry between us, if you know what I mean. After about 1 year of dating, moving in together seemed like a no-brainer. I had a nice house in a good neighborhood in Denver. 3 bedrooms, remodeled kitchen. The kind of details that matter. Brooke moved in with her clothes, some furniture, and all her plants that she was crazy about. Living together went surprisingly well. We did not have those stupid arguments about dishes or dirty laundry that my friends were always complaining about with their girlfriends. 3 years went by, and everything was great between us. We started talking about marriage, kids, future plans. I had been saving up for a while and eventually bought her a ring. I spent more than I should have, but I wanted it to be special. Not something overly luxurious, but enough to make her friends jealous without looking like a guy trying too hard. I proposed during a weekend in the Rockies, on one knee at the perfect sunset. Total romantic comedy moment, but it felt right. Brooke cried, the good tears, and said yes before I even finished my sentence. That night, we stayed awake talking about wedding plans and our future. We had chosen October for the date, found a great venue by a lake about 1 hour from Denver. Paid the deposits, started looking at caterers, the whole 9 yards. My parents even contributed a bit, even though I was covering the majority of the costs. That is my style. I like managing the big things. Brooke dove into the planning. She would send me Pinterest boards with flowers and decoration ideas. Drag me to cake tastings. Honestly, I was not going to complain. Free cake? I say yes. She had a lot of specific ideas about colors and decor that I did not really understand. But seeing her so excited made me happy. I handled the practical side, budget, contracts with vendors, that sort of thing. Honestly, life seemed perfect. I had a booming career in software development with regular promotions, the ideal girl, a house. A future all mapped out. My friends were either jealous or teased me about being whipped. But I felt they respected what I had built. Even my dad, who is super hard to impress, told me he was proud of me and how I had settled down. That is where we were a few months ago before everything went off the rails. 6 months before the wedding, I started noticing changes in Brooke. Nothing obvious at first, just little details that felt off. I am pretty observant. It is useful in my line of work, so I picked up on those little signals. The enthusiasm for the wedding prep that used to drive her evaporated. Before, she would send me dress ideas in the middle of the workday or call me to discuss flowers. Now, when I asked her a basic question like, "Did you pick your bridesmaids?" she just shrugged. "Not yet. I am thinking about it." Same for her dress, the cake, the DJ, everything she used to obsess over. I remember asking her if she had finalized the centerpieces, and she literally told me, "We still have time, Jake, no need to rush everything." Coming from the girl who had made a 6-month countdown calendar and stuck it on the fridge. And then there was her phone. Brooke started guarding it like it was a nuclear vault. Always placed face down on the table when I was around. Taking calls in another room or the bathroom. Weird smiles while reading her messages, and when I walked by, she would switch apps super fast. Highly suspicious behavior. At first, I thought maybe she was planning a surprise or something like that, but deep down, I knew that was not it. I did not want to make a big deal out of it. I did not want to come off as the jealous or controlling guy. And I wanted concrete proof before saying anything. And that is when I got a real slap in the face at a party with friends. Someone suggested this stupid TikTok game where you have to answer questions without thinking. Most of the questions were like, your most embarrassing moment, or who would you trade lives with for a day? Then came the question, if you could relive a past relationship, which one would it be? And without hesitation, Brooke answered, Dylan, clearly. The whole room froze for a second. Dylan was her college boyfriend. They were together before I came into her life. According to her, he was her first great love. The one who broke her heart by cheating on her with a girl from his study group. Our friend Chris tried to lighten the mood with a joke, but for me, it was too late. I kept a neutral face, but inside it was chaos. Who says that in front of their fiancée? Back home, I brought it up calmly. Like Dylan, huh? Interesting choice. She immediately got defensive. Oh my God. It was just a stupid game. You should not take it seriously. I just said the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah, but out of all your exes, he is the one you want to relive. The guy who cheated on you. She rolled her eyes. Jake, seriously, it means nothing. Can we not make a big deal out of this? I let it go. It was not worth a fight, but it stuck in my head. After that night, I started paying more attention. I saw her searching for Dylan's name on Instagram. I found out through a buddy that he had moved back to town a few months ago after his divorce. Nice coincidence, right? And then there was Megan, Brooke's best friend. She was crashing at our place more and more often. I would find her with Brooke in the kitchen when I came home from work. Their conversation would stop dead as soon as I walked in. Megan would give me a weird smile and say, "We were just talking about girl stuff." Then change the subject. One evening, I came home early and heard Megan on the couch with Brooke. "Are you going to tell me you never think about Dylan anymore?" Megan asked. "That was a long time ago," Brooke replied without much conviction. "But he was your first real love," Megan insisted. "You never really forget those things." I made some noise in the hallway, and they suddenly started talking about a TV show. At the time, I thought it was weird but did not pay too much attention. Just friends reminiscing about the past. Megan also dropped little comments like, "Marriage is a huge commitment. You have to be 100% sure." Or, "You are still so young. Most people do not settle down until after 30. Always when Brooke could hear, always with this caring big sister vibe. After these conversations, I would see her looking thoughtful, quieter. Once, she sat down in front of me. "I never asked you if we were moving too fast." I was surprised. "Too fast? We have been together for 4 years." "I know, but," she was playing with her engagement ring. Megan was telling me about her cousin who got married young and divorced at 27 because she had not lived enough beforehand. "And since when do we make our life decisions based on Megan's cousin?" I asked in a light tone. Brooke shrugged. "I'm just saying there might be some good in thinking about it a little more." I answered her, "Honey, we have been living together for 3 years. The wedding is in 6 months. I would not call that moving fast." She nodded, but unconvincingly. "Yeah, you are right." But the seed of doubt was planted, and it only grew the cloud of suspicion hovering over her in my mind. Then she started coming home late more often, claiming she had after-work drinks. Her stories about who she saw or where she went had inconsistencies. Nothing blatant, but enough to arouse my suspicion. One evening, we were sitting together, her phone on the table. A notification popped up. I did not even have time to read it before the screen lit up and she lunged for it, almost knocking over her glass. I raised an eyebrow. She mumbled an excuse, just a group chat with friends. Nothing important. Her voice sounded too rushed, too forced. I leaned back, my face neutral. I did not say anything. No need. Her reaction said it all. After that, the little red flags piled up. The texts she hid, the days her stories did not add up. I am not proud of it, but I snooped in our shared cloud. I found pictures of her at restaurants she never mentioned to me, in places we had never been together. Little did I know how much worse things were going to get. One day, it all finally blew up. I had come home earlier than usual from work, thinking maybe Brooke and I could go grab dinner at this little Italian place she likes. Walking through the door, I immediately sensed something was wrong. Brooke was sitting on the couch, still in her work clothes. Her eyes glued to her phone with a weird nervous energy. "Hey honey," I said, dropping my keys in the bowl by the door. "Are you hungry? I figured we could go to Marcello's." She jumped like she had not even heard me come in. "Oh, Jake, we need to talk." For words no guy ever wants to hear. My stomach instantly tied itself in knots, but I kept a neutral face. I had kind of felt something like this coming for weeks. "All right," I replied, sitting across from her. "What is going on?" She could not even look me in the eye. She fidgeted nervously with the corner of a throw pillow. I have been thinking a lot lately. About us, about the wedding. I waited, not making it easy for her. After what felt like an eternity, she finally continued. I think I need some time. A little space to think before we get married. Time for what exactly? I asked, even though I already suspected the answer. She took a deep breath. To be sure this is really what I want. Marriage is a huge commitment. I need to be certain before we commit to it. And how do you plan on getting that certainty? I said calmly, watching her squirm with discomfort. That is when she dropped the bomb I was expecting. Dylan reached out to me a few weeks ago. We started talking again. And I think there might still be something between us. I need to explore that before I can fully commit to our marriage. Inside, I was furious. After everything we had planned, all the deposits paid, our years together. And she wants to take a break to see if her ex is a better option. But on the outside, I stayed calm. Getting angry would not help anything. So, you want to put our engagement on pause while you go see if your ex suits you better? I said flatly. It is not like that, she insisted. Finally looking at me. It is not about comparing. It is just to be sure. To have no more doubts. If it does not work out, we can pick up right where we left off. I promise I will come back. The audacity. As if I were a toy she could put on a shelf while she tested out another model. As if I was going to wait obediently while she decided I was finally good enough. She kept talking, and I noticed something weird. Some of her phrases sounded like Megan. I need to honor my feelings, explore my unresolved emotions. That was not Brooke's style. It was classic Megan. Did Megan suggest this break to you? I blurted out. Brooke's eyes widened. What? No. Well, I talked to her about how I was feeling, but it is my decision. So you talked to Megan about Dylan before you even talked to me. She squirmed even more. She is my best friend. She knows my history with Dylan. And what did she say when you told her you were thinking about reconnecting with your ex? Brooke looked down at her hands. She said I owed it to myself to be sure. That it is better to sort this out now than regret it after the wedding. Of course she said that. I had seen Megan sneaking texts to her lately. Always with that concerned look when they were together. Now the picture was becoming clear. And how long do you think this break would last? I asked, sounding curious rather than upset. She looked relieved that I was not getting angry. Maybe a month. I am going to stay at my mom's place until I figure things out. I knew damn well her mom lived over an hour away in Colorado Springs. No way she was planning on commuting. She was going to stay at Dylan's, that was obvious. I nodded slowly, as if I were considering it. If that is what you need. You are not mad? She asked, surprised. I shrugged. We all have to do what is best for us. Go ahead, take your time. She looked relieved. It was almost laughable, as if she expected a massive fight and was getting off easy. She hugged me, thanking me for understanding, without noticing how tense my body was. While she packed her suitcase, I ordered takeout, acted like everything was normal. Talked about my day, offered to help carry her things to the car, the perfect understanding fiancé. When she drove off, promising to call me in a few days. I waited until her car disappeared down the street. Then I locked the door and let my real feelings out. I punched a pillow so hard the feathers flew everywhere. Then I paced back and forth in the living room. She thought I was going to stand there like an idiot waiting for her while she explored her feelings for Dylan, and that she would just waltz back in if it did not work out. No way, that was not how this was going to go down. As soon as she turned the corner, I dropped my nice guy act. It was time to act fast before she changed her mind and tried to come back. First call, my buddy Derek. We have been friends since college. He was my freshman roommate, and today he is a real estate and contracts attorney. I texted him, need to talk to you in private ASAP. He cleared his schedule for me the very next morning. A true brother. Second call, Rachel, my real estate agent. She had helped me buy the house 2 years ago. Remember when I told you I was maybe thinking about selling in a year or two? Change of plans. Need to sell right now. Rachel is super cool. She did not even ask questions. I also called the wedding venue. There has been a setback. What is your cancellation policy? I learned I could get 60% of the deposit back if I canceled within the week. Not ideal, but better than nothing. Next, I contacted all the vendors, photographers, caterers, DJ, florist. Some deposits were lost, others partially refundable. Whatever, the money was not the main issue. The important thing was to cancel everything before Brooke had any chance to backtrack. The next day, Derek explained everything to me in his office. The house was 100% in my name. Brooke had bad credit, so I had taken out the mortgage alone. That meant I could sell without her signature. The engagement ring was still legally mine as long as we were not married. Thank God. And since we were not legally bound yet, I was free to cover my own back. "You dodged a bullet, man," Derek said as he looked over the papers. Imagine if all this had happened after the wedding. The house went on the market that very day. Rachel set an aggressive price to sell quickly. I started packing my boxes, setting aside the essentials, and rented a storage unit for the rest. While cleaning out the office, I came across a folder labeled Personal in Brooke's drawer. Given the situation, I looked inside, and wow. Credit card statements showing over $42,000 in debt that she had never told me about. Luxury clothes, a spa day, and the cherry on the top, a weekend at a hotel 2 months ago. Supposedly at her sister's place. Except the bills showed 2 people in a city 3 hours away. She had been planning her reconnection with Dylan for months. Looking closer, I noticed a detail. Her secret spending had skyrocketed right around the time Megan got promoted at her law firm. Suddenly, there were shopping sprees, fancy dinners, luxury weekends. A $700 bill at a designer boutique the day after Megan's promotion party. It all made sense. Megan had always lived in luxury, and Brooke, who used to manage her money well, was now trying to keep up by hiding everything from me. Just another way Megan had sabotaged our relationship without me realizing it. I took pictures of all of it and went back to packing. A week later, Brooke sent me a casual text. "Hey, are you okay? I miss you." I kept it vague but positive. "Everything is good. Just sorting out some business." She had no idea that I knew she was not at her mom's. My buddy Mike had seen her out to dinner with Dylan downtown 3 days after she left, playing house with her ex while keeping me on the back burner. 2 weeks later, something unexpected happened. Megan called me. "Yes, Megan. Can we meet for coffee? I need to tell you something." I was suspicious but curious. Megan had always been the smartest of Brooke's group. She worked at a law firm, ambitious, always well-organized. She was waiting for me at Starbucks, looking a bit tense. After some small talk, she dropped her bomb. She had known about Dylan for months. Brooke had been planning this break ever since Dylan moved back to town. And she talked about it constantly to Megan. "She lied to you, Jake. It is not fair," Megan said, putting her hand on mine. "You deserve better than being someone's plan B." I thanked her for her honesty without showing too much emotion. "I appreciate your honesty." As I got up to leave, Megan grabbed my arm. "I always thought Brooke was crazy not to see how lucky she was to have you. Some of us would never take you for granted." The look she gave me was crystal clear. Interesting twist. The following week, Megan kept messaging me. First with more details about Brooke and Dylan. Then more personal messages. She asked how my day was going, sent post-gym selfies, suggested we get dinner to talk. I played along. One evening, we met up for dinner. She looked stunning, clearly dressed up for the occasion. Throughout the meal, she touched my arm, laughed at my jokes, made her interest obvious. "I have always found you attractive," she confessed. "But I respected your relationship with Brooke. Now, things are different." I smiled and put my hand on hers. Yes, now things are different. I did not take it any further, even when she invited me up to her place. That was not my endgame. But knowing Megan was on my side was information Brooke was soon going to find out. Meanwhile, the house sold in 9 days for $15,000 over the asking price. I closed the sale and moved my last belongings into a great downtown apartment. I also accepted a promotion at work, the one I was hesitating to take. It came with a nice raise, but required relocating to our Seattle office. My life was completely transforming while Brooke remained totally in the dark. Still believing I was patiently waiting at home while she found herself. 3 weeks into her break, she texted me to meet up that weekend to talk about us. The timing was perfect. Everything was ready. What she did not know was that I had already sold our house, canceled our wedding, packed my bags, and arranged my transfer to Seattle. Oh, and her best friend had been texting me flirty messages all week. The time had come. I suggested we meet at a downtown coffee shop, a neutral, public place, so she would not make a scene. Or so I thought. I arrived early, grabbed a table in the corner, and waited. When she walked in, I instantly saw she was in win him back mode. Fresh haircut, that green dress I told her I liked, full makeup, the whole package. Her face lit up when she saw me. She rushed toward me with a huge smile, as if we were in a rom-com scene. She tried to hug me. I barely responded. Just a pat on the back. I missed you so much, she said, sitting across from me. These past few weeks have really opened my eyes. I sipped my coffee and let her talk. She launched into a speech that sounded totally rehearsed, like a monologue from a play. She explained that seeing Dylan again gave her the emotional closure she needed, and that she realized I was the man of her life, that she was ready to fully commit, and could not wait to be my wife. As if I was supposed to welcome her back with open arms. Please. When she finally paused to breathe, I smiled at her. Are you done? She had a brief moment of hesitation. What? I am asking if you are finished with your little speech. She blinked, visibly thrown by my tone. Jake, I am trying to tell you that I want to come home, that I am choosing you. I leaned forward. That is interesting timing, because I just sold the house. The color drained from her face. You did what? I sold it. Signed the papers last week. Made a nice profit off it too. She looked at me like I had grown a second head. But where are you living then? I have a great downtown apartment, just for the month. After that, I am moving to Seattle for my new job. Her mouth opened and closed like a goldfish. Seattle? New job? What are you talking about? I took another sip of coffee. Oh, and I canceled the wedding. I lost a few deposits. But most of the vendors were understanding when I explained the situation. Tears welled up in her eyes. You canceled our wedding without even talking to me? I let out a cold little laugh. Ah, you mean like how you told me you were going to see your ex again? You did not ask. You informed me, so I did the same. I looked her dead in the eye. You wanted space? Congratulations. Now you have all the space in the world. That is so unfair, she yelled, her voice getting louder. People around us started turning their heads. I just needed time to be sure. And I needed to move on. By the way, I found your credit card statements. The over $42,000 in debt you were hiding, including that weekend where you clearly were not at your sister's. That is your problem now. Her face crumbled as reality caught up with her. Her backup plan was gone. Her safety net had vanished. We can still fix this, she pleaded, grabbing my hand across the table. We can postpone the wedding, find another house. Her phone buzzed on the table. A notification popped up. Megan, so did he buy your fake speech? LOL. Brooke's eyes went wide. She grabbed her phone, but it was too late. I had seen it, and she knew I had seen it. Megan is texting you? She stammered, completely derailed. Among other things, I said with a smirk. But to be honest, I am mostly interested in Paige from my work. She really supported me through all this. It was true. Megan mostly wanted revenge on Brooke. But Paige, she had been genuine, present, a good listener. Nothing was defined between us, but maybe something in Seattle. Casual, no need to get into the details with Brooke. You were seeing someone else? While I was gone. No, Brooke. While you were reconnecting with your ex. I was rebuilding my life. It is not the same thing. She broke down, crying her eyes out, mascara running everywhere. Everyone was watching. Please, Jake, I made a huge mistake. I love you. Give me another chance. I stood up and tossed a bill on the table for the coffee. The thing is, Brooke, I have already started a new life. And that new life has no room for someone who considers me a plan B. As I walked out of the coffee shop, she screamed after me. And what am I supposed to do now? I turned back one last time. I hear Dylan is available, but from what I heard, he is already seeing someone else. Tough luck. The shock on her face was priceless. Walking out of that coffee shop, I felt like 100-pound weight had been lifted off my shoulders. For weeks, I had been focused on logistics, selling the house, canceling the wedding, planning my move. But in that exact moment, walking away from her tears and manipulation, I felt free, liberated. That very night, the messages started pouring in. First apologies. I am so sorry. Can we talk? Then anger. You sold the house without telling me. and finally desperation. I will do anything to fix this. Anything. I did not reply to a single one. What more was there to say? The next day, her mom called me. Apparently, Brooke had shown up at her place in tears with a completely twisted version where I was the bad guy. Classic. Her mom sounded shocked when I calmly explained the real story, Dylan included. I did not even know she was in contact with him. She told me you guys were just taking a break to think about the wedding. Well, now she has all the time in the world to think about it, I replied. It has been 3 months since the coffee shop and damn, my life has completely changed. Seattle is amazing. My apartment has a sick view of the water. I can see the Space Needle from my living room. The tech scene here is crazy, and my new job lets me run an entire division. More money, less stress, and real respect from upper management. It is crazy how fast life can change, but I know you are here for the drama. So here is the update. A week after my move, I got a message on Instagram from Dylan. Yeah, that Dylan. I did not see that coming at all. He wrote me a long paragraph saying he did not want to cause us problems. He swore Brooke was the one who reached out first, long before she asked me for a break. According to him, she had been hitting him up for months. As soon as she found out he was back in town, it was all calculated. And the best part? Dylan dumped her a few days after our meeting at the coffee shop. His exact words, "If she can do that to you, she can do it to anyone." Karma is a real brat. Through mutual friends, I heard Brooke's career took a massive hit too. Remember all those freelance clients? They all found other designers. Not because I leaked anything. I did not have to. Word travels fast in our town. One of her biggest clients even reached out to me. "We heard about your breakup," he said. "We are looking for someone for some long-term projects. Know any reliable designers?" I recommended my buddy Kyle. He got the contract. Brooke got zilch. And then there was her social media meltdown. Memorable. First, sad quotes about losing soulmates. Then angry posts about toxic people who do not understand personal growth. And finally, posts trying to show how incredibly well her life was going. Her latest big announcement? Launching her own design agency. 3 days later, a friend saw her filling out job applications at a coffee shop. Looks like that project tanked. Last week, her sister sent me a message. Brooke has been living with their parents for a month. She says she needs to heal from the breakup. According to her sister, she truly believed I was going to wait for her. When she found out I sold the house and moved across the country, it shattered her little world. Good. Reality checks are useful. The most satisfying moment? A video call with my old friend group. Someone mentioned seeing Brooke at a coffee shop trying to explain to a client why her portfolio website was offline. She forgot I was the one who built and maintained it. And when the hosting expired, she had no idea what to do. Not my problem anymore. My new life here is great. I started taking Spanish lessons. I adopted a rescue dog, a big clumsy teddy bear I named Bear. This dog is a better companion than Brooke ever was. He does not lie about his comings and goings, and he is always happy to see me come home. The tech community is super welcoming. Last week, I was asked to speak at a developer conference. That never would have happened if I had stayed in my old comfort zone. It is crazy what you can accomplish when you stop dragging deadweight around. One last interaction with Brooke. A month ago, she emailed me asking for old photos from our shared cloud. I had already downloaded what I wanted and closed the account weeks ago. She wrote, "I know you are trying to erase me from your life, but you cannot just delete our memories. Those 4 years meant something." My reply? "You are right. Those years taught me what I do not want in a partner. Thanks for the lesson." Mutual friends say I am too harsh, that I need to understand her period of confusion. But it was not a moment, it was a strategic choice. She kept our relationship on reserve while she test drove a better option. As for Megan, we saw each other a few times before I left. Nothing serious, just two people getting what they wanted in the moment. Paige from my job got transferred to Seattle too. We have been dating for a month. It is chill. She is direct, ambitious, honest. Nothing like before. Comment. Hey everyone, I wanted to share a quick thought after this one. When someone shows you who they really are, it's okay to believe them the first time and quietly choose yourself. I've learned that setting clear boundaries isn't about being cold, but about protecting your own peace. Taking responsibility for your healing is one of the strongest things you can do for yourself. You deserve someone who chooses you fully, without any hesitation or backup plan. Treating yourself with the same kindness you offer others makes all the difference. Choosing peace over chaos has completely changed how I see relationships now. I hope this makes you pause and think about what you truly want in your own life. You already have the strength to walk away from anything that doesn't honor your worth. Let's keep supporting each other as we move toward calmer and better days ahead. If you like the stories, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.